kings and queens, it's your girl Kayla DeReese. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, what's good? So today, guys, for Wealth Wednesday, I want to discuss time. You know, the 24 hours that we have in every single day that sometimes doesn't feel like 24 hours. Can I talk to y'all for a second? I've always been fascinated with time, like the idea of time. The fact that you can never get the same 24 hours back. Ain't that crazy? Isn't that just weird? Like, never experience the same day ever again in life. Days of the week, the name of the day is the same, but you will never experience that same Monday. You will never experience that same 12th hour of a random Tuesday ever again. Like, isn't that just different? Like, am I the only one that thinks that's weird? Y'all comment below. Today is all about managing your time, guys. Obviously, managing your time doesn't necessarily have to do with finances. However, when you manage your time properly, it does roll over into how you run your business. You operate as a business person. So with knowing that we can never get, an hour back, or we'll never get the same 24 hours we had yesterday back, it is very important that, we use our time to our advantage. All right, so tip number 1 is to schedule your day the night before. I know it's not always possible, guys, but if you can, if not scheduling it, even more ahead of time. But if you can schedule your day the night before, it will help so much. That way that it flows seamlessly, yeah? So that you're not like going through the day like, what am I gonna do next? And then you do something and you're like, oh, well, I should have done this first. Make out a schedule, make sure that the flow of your schedule makes sense. Make it make sense. So step 2 is actually gonna be to make a to-do list for all the little things that you need to get done. Maybe not necessarily places you need to go, but little things that you need to get done. Making a to-do list just allows you to stay on task, and then it allows you to have like a sense of accomplishment by the end of the day. I don't know about you guys, but I like to physically, when I write in my journal, like my to-do list, I like to be able to check things off, because that just makes me feel good. I know no one else sees it but me, but that gives me such self-gratification to see that I've checked all these things off my to-do list. And it can be silly stuff like eat breakfast, check. Wake up, check. Drink my gallon of water, because your girl's trying to do a gallon of water a day, check. Like, you don't have to always put only super important things on your to-do list. Put some small things on there that you know for sure you can get done, because then you really feel like, accomplished. So step 1, schedule ahead. Step 2, make a to-do list. Step 3, prioritize that to-do list. Step 4, set deadlines. Give yourself set deadlines and stick to it. Doing so will hold yourself accountable for completing all the tasks that you have given yourself. Step 5, meal prep and or plan your meals ahead of time. This just cuts down the time it takes to think of meals and or prepare those meals throughout the week. You would be surprised how much time we spend on just trying to figure out what to eat throughout the day, every single day. And by the end of the week, you're like, I've spent 10 hours on just meals this week. That's an extra 10 hours that I could have put somewhere else. So meal prepping and planning your meals ahead. If you don't meal prep for every single day of the week, that's fine. Maybe you just write out a schedule of these days I'm gonna eat this, this day I'm gonna eat this, and make it that same day, but at least you know ahead of time what you're gonna be eating. Step number 6, eliminate distractions. Social media can be a big one. I would suggest checking your social media, or even just your apps in general. Not just necessarily social media, but your app usage. So I know on many smartphones, you can go in your settings and check in your apps. I might actually insert a clip on how to do that, and you can actually check to see how much time you spend on different apps. So for Instagram, for instance, I can go in and I can check to see how much time I'm spending each day It'll give me like my daily average, but it'll also say like for this particular day, for today, I've been on my app for, I don't know, say for instance, I was on there for 10 hours today. I have not been on Instagram for 10 hours. I'm just using that as an example. But if I see that I'm on Instagram for 10 hours, then I'm gonna say, you know, I need to cut back. You can actually give yourself timers for apps, which I would suggest because that helps us to be more productive in other areas. So if you know you don't wanna spend most of your time on things that are distractions, give yourself an app timer. So you might say, okay, I've been spending 10 hours on Instagram, but I only want to spend 3 at max. Then give yourself a 3-hour timer. Or you only want to spend 30 minutes, then give yourself a 30-minute timer. Cut out those distractions, and not just social media. It can be anything from social media to people. The people that you have around you to that, you know, distract you, whether you're talking on the phone all day, or you're texting all day, or you're FaceTiming all day, or, you know, it just really depends on where you spend all of your extra energy and or effort. If you're not putting that same energy and effort into the things that you should be getting done, you got to be able to identify where those distractions are, or what they're coming from, and then kind of redirect yourself to the things that you should be doing. All right, moving along to tip number 7. Not using your phone for the first hour and the last hour of the day. So the first hour that you wake up, try not to use your phone. And the last hour before you go to bed, try not to use your phone. In the morning, it's good for your body to just naturally adjust to being awake and to adjust to natural light. So it's just not good to wake up and immediately pick up your phone. Even if that means you're not getting on social media, but you're on your phone for anything, you know? So I would say maybe wake up that first hour, or at least close to an hour. If you can't do a full hour, do at least 30 minutes, but you shouldn't be like glued to your phone immediately. It's good for you to not have your phone for that last hour before you go to bed, because that blue light that emits from your screen actually suppresses melatonin, and it tricks your brain into thinking, oh, I want to stay awake, when your body is really trying to wind down and get relaxed to go to sleep. So even if you're in the pitch black, in the dark, laying down ready to go to bed, no matter how tired you are, if you're looking at your phone, that blue light that emits from your phone, even if you change it to like the gray scale, it still emits a certain percentage of it off, and you're gonna stay awake longer than you should. And it also kind of prevents us from getting into our REM sleep. Yeah? Does that make sense? Comment below if that makes sense. I don't know. I just started recently trying not to be on my phone the first hour that I wake up, in the last hour that right before I go to sleep. It's working great for me. I also don't care to be on my phone. Never have. But I do find myself on my phone way more now with, you know, content creating, and I do find myself up a lot more because of it, because a lot of times I'm like editing it late at night, but that also gives I see myself with headaches a lot more because of it, because I'm staring at a screen for so long. So now I'm trying to not use my phone as much. Tip number 8 in managing your time as best as you can is to say no when you need to. Do not feel obligated to say yes to anything and everything that anyone asks you to do. If it's not a priority to you, then don't feel bad for saying no. We have to get out of this conditioned mind of thinking we have to please everybody and give our time to everyone, because at the end of the day, not everyone's emergency is our urgency. And we have to understand that we still have to be able to prioritize everything that matters to us. So don't feel bad for saying no to someone if it's not something that is of importance to you. I'm not saying to go and just be like, no, and be rude about it. However, if it's something that you don't feel is necessary and you feel like you need to redirect your energy to something else that is more important to you, then do so. Just do it respectfully. Tip number 9 is to take breaks when you need to. Make sure that you are still having fun throughout your days, even no matter how busy and hectic they can get sometimes. The best way to stay motivated is to take breaks when you can. If we just pile up our days with work and we don't take time for ourselves, ooh, the sun's going down. Sorry. We don't ever take breaks and time for ourselves, then it becomes very hard to stay self-motivated. So make sure that throughout your days, even no matter how productive you want to be, that you are actually staying motivated, or that you are actually taking breaks. It's okay to take a break. I don't know why we have been so conditioned to, we'll sleep when we're dead and things like that. No. Take a break. Take a nap if necessary. Get your mind right. Take a walk. Get some vitamin D. Yeah. It's okay to take a break. It's not a bad thing. And don't let anybody tell you that it is. And if they do say it is, tell them come talk to me. And my final tip is tip number 10. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Don't be too strict, yeah? Obviously, you want to be as productive as possible. You want to have your businesses flourishing. You want to be able to set your schedule and just run with it. But sometimes you may have to venture off your schedule, and that is okay. Don't beat yourself up about not sticking to your to-do list verbatim. Like, that is totally fine. As long as you still get everything accomplished that you're supposed to get accomplished, it's a good day. It is totally fine. Don't beat yourself up about things that is either out of your control or things that are not that important. We get too worked up sometimes over things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Ultimate goal is to just be productive, not necessarily to be so strict on ourselves that we don't have any room to adjust. I hope these tips for managing your time and your day-to-day lives were helpful. If they were, then let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other tips that can be helpful for managing your time, please also add those in the comments down below. I would love to hear back from you guys. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure that you tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my weekly uploads, guys. And I'll see you all back for the next Wealth Wednesday.